Hi everyone, welcome back to My Beauty Times 2. Today I decided to do a natural pink glow from within look. I was talking to my aunt the other day and she told me that I was doing way too many smoky eyes and that I needed to do a tutorial on like how to do just like a natural, you know, happy girly look. And this is a really easy look to go from day to night on. This would be the day version, and then at night you could just add a little dark to the ends and you're good to go. It's a really simple, beautiful look. I'm really actually fond of this look. I've never done it before. This is my first time doing it, and it's basically just like a pink and orange on the corners, and then a light shimmery foily pink on the inside. So if you like what you see, please keep watching, and please remember to subscribe and give it a thumbs up and leave any comments below if you have any. Thank you.
Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, to start off this look, because it is a natural glow look, I decided to do my highlight and contour first before I put foundation on. And even the foundation that I did put on, I put on very little. So for highlight, I'm going in with a Tarte concealer in the color medium, and usually I would go with medium sand if I was using it as a concealer, but because it's being used as a highlight, I'm using medium, which is just a shade lighter. And I'm using a foundation brush to spread that under my under eye and on the temples of my forehead, also along my nose ridge and on my chin. I know this method is probably going to seem really weird to you guys, but I promise in the end it looks really pretty, and by the end of the night you still look as glowing as you did in the beginning. So for contour, I'm using my STILA CC cream in the color Warm, and I'm just spreading that on my cheekbones and on my nose and on my forehead. The way I'm spreading it on my nose is I'm using a Sigma brush, and I'm just using it on the bridges of my nose. So to blend everything in nicely, I'm using a Morphe brush, and it's a Stifling brush, and I'm just blending everything together. Now I'm going in with my GIORGIO Armani foundation, and I'm using very little, very little, and you can see I put way too much on my face right now, and then I'm going to go ahead and blend that out as much as possible. For someone that has a lot of blemishes, I promise this works. I have a face full of blemishes and it completely covered my face up. So the way that I'm blending all this out is by starting with the foundation being blended on the contour line, and then I'm slowly bringing it up in that upside down triangle motion. And I wanted to reiterate again that it's very important that you use very little foundation for this look. A little goes a long way for this look. Again, we want to make it look like a natural glow video, so it's really important not to cake on, because then all the colors won't come out from within, type of thing. And now I'm just putting it heavily on my neck, because during the day my face tends to oxidize, so when I put foundation on I go a shade lighter than my actual skin tone. So we want to make sure everything matches. Now for setting my whole face, I'm using Ben Nye banana powder, and I mixed it with the color Buff because banana is way too yellow for my face, and I'm just spreading that all over my face. Now for the fun part. For our eyes, we're going to use Painterly from MAC and just spread it all over our eyes with our fingertips. You can use a brush for this, but I prefer to use my fingers just so I know it's getting in all the crevices that I want it to get in. Now I'm going to use my LORAC Pro Palette 2, and I'm using the color Light Brown, and I'm mixing it with the white color in that palette, and I'm just going to buff that on my crease. And the way that I'm buffing is I'm going to use I'm going to start on the middle of my eye and slowly buff out towards the corner, towards the V. And I'm going to buff towards the inner corner of my eye when there's barely anything left on my brush. So basically we're going to use that neutral color and we're going to put it on our inner corner and on our outer corner, leaving our middle completely blank. And we're just going to keep buffing back and forth until we have a nice look. For this part, I incorporated a little bit of orange because I didn't want it to be completely brown. So I used a random orange color and I did the same exact motion with it, back and forth. I kept going back in just to make sure that it was the color I wanted it to be. If you don't want it to be that evident, then you can really take your time with it and go very slowly and it'll give you a nice light color. So for the middle part of my eye, I am using a Wild Child from BH Cosmetics palette and I'm using the pink color in it. And I used a Evian spray bottle and I really soaked my brush in for that middle part because it would give it a nice shiny look. And when I say soaked, I really soaked it. I sprayed it a few times and it was really wet and it gave the eye a very natural glowy look, which I liked. Now you have to make sure that it dries completely before you blend anything out even more, because if you do it when it's wet, it's just going to create a whole mess. So while I'm waiting for it to completely dry, I'm just going to do my eyebrows really quick. I am using the Dipbrow from Anastasia Beverly Hills in the color dark brown. A lot of people use ebony for dark hair, and dark brown is just a color I prefer to use because ebony, I feel like it's a little ashy and you can't really build on it without having it look ashy. So I use dark brown just to make sure that I can build on it and it still looks the color of my actual eyebrows. And as you can see, there's a huge difference when you fill in your eyebrows and when you don't. So even if you have thick eyebrows, like I have pretty thick eyebrows and I still fill mine in just for the sparse areas. So now that the wet part is completely dry, I'm just going to buff everything back in really quickly. So for my eyebrows, I'm just going back in with a concealer and really defining them just to make sure that there are no hair out of place. So I'm using a white color from the BH Cosmetics Wild Child palette, and I'm just going to put that on my brow bone. For eyeliner, I'm using the LA Girl Cosmetics gel liner in the color black, and I'm just going to spread that on my waterline and on where I put my eyeliner up top. I didn't want to use a matte or a liquid eyeliner for this look because it is, again, like a whole natural glow video, and a lot of people will wear this during the daytime. And if you want to switch it up for nighttime, of course you can use a better eyeliner, but I just wanted to put that on for the sake of not having my eyelashes look like they were fake on me. So I tried to show you guys what eyelashes I was using and that completely failed. I was using my Cocoa lashes in the style 101, and right now I'm just going back in with that same orange I used, and I'm going in with a pencil brush and I'm putting that underneath my waterline. And I'm sorry, for my waterline I actually ended up using a neutral color. I'm pretty sure this neutral color was from NYX. So when I put a neutral color on my waterline, I actually use a cotton swab first and clean out my waterline, and then I put a neutral color on. Now I'm just putting on mascara on my lower lashes and on my top lashes just to make sure all the fake lashes and my natural lashes are blended in together. It's really important that you do that because then your natural lashes will just stick out straight while your fake ones are curled up. So now for contour, I'm just reiterating that contour line because it got a little lost with the foundation, and I'm just using a Sigma E40 brush, and I'm using the dark colors from my contour palette just to give it a nice contour. Now I'm using my Eco Tools fan brush and I'm just going to blend out all the harsh lines. So now I'm using a Victoria's Secret bronzer. It was like $3 when I got this bronzer. I was so surprised, and I was like, oh, you know, Victoria's Secret makeup, it doesn't really work. It's not that great. And I bought it, and it was the best bronzer I have ever gotten in my entire life. It's shimmery, it's not matte, but wow, it does your face wonders. And so I'm just spreading that all over my face where I need to be warmed up a little. Now I'm using a Morphe brush and just using the color Banana from the Anastasia palette and spreading that on the highlight areas. It's really important to put that color everywhere that you used a highlight originally. Now I'm using my Glamorous Blush palette from BH Cosmetics, and I'm using, you can't even see it in this light, it's horrible, but I'm using very neutral colors. I'm using neutral pinks to get the, again, the whole natural glow look. And you can use any blush brush for this look. For lipstick, I went through 3 different color combinations for you guys. It was ridiculous because none of them showed up correctly on the camera. So I'm using an NYX pencil in the color Ever, and I'm just going to shade my lips with that color, and I'm going to shade in all the dark areas of my lips. And that also helps if you want your lipstick to stay on all night or all day long. It really keeps it on. So now I'm using the color Brave from MAC, and that gave it a pinky look, and it looks way too pink on camera, but it wasn't this pink, I promise. So now I'm using my Too Faced Illuminizer, and I'm just using a fan brush to just put that gently over my cheeks, and I'm going to put a little bit on my nose and on my Cupid's bow. And that's the whole look, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.